It's all sparkly. Yeah, it's about 3 a.m. The frost has set in already. It's early November, but as a cold front has come through and everything's a little chillier. White Tank Spring. This here is how you get your water up here. What a wicked ascent. This is called the Coit Ridge Trail. Hitting a level stop spot near the top. These lethal, very sharp and heavy gray pine cones. Now, I've always called them digger pines, and I was told long ago that they're called digger pines because, well, because they're so heavy and sharp that they dig into the ground when they fall. And they've dug into my foot when I was running, went right through my shoe. Wicked. But nowadays, that's considered a racist term, digger pines, because it's thought and said that Indians, native people, called digger Indians, used to eat their nuts, the pine nuts from digger pines. But, well, you don't dig for pine needles or pine cones or pine nuts, so why would they be called digger Indians? Oh, by the way, I didn't step on a pine cone. I stepped on just one of those little leaves, those that come off of the cone when it falls or get picked off by squirrels. That's all it took. Went right through my shoe. So beware. All right, one more thing about these. I don't think I mentioned it. I might have said they're heavy. They're sharp. Of course, they're sharp. These things, they're like coconuts, man. Except the coconut isn't, they're heavy. Except the coconut isn't sharp. That thing, you don't want it falling on your head. Nasty. Beautiful. Beautiful evil. Brought to you by Mother Nature. It's got enough frickin' mass to roll all the way down the hill. Coit Dam. This location, as was Pacheco Camp, is served by a little outhouse, whatever you call it, pit toilet. This is a pretty good looking reservoir considering it's been a very dry year. It must be spring fed and by a good year-round spring, I'd wager. There's lots of water, kind of muddy on the shore, so water access is going to be maybe a little messy, at least here. Little ridgetop corral. What's a corral, you may ask, you kids? Well, a corral, there's a place you put your kids when you go fishing. I wouldn't put your dog there, though. The dog would get out. Heard quail. Thought I'd try to catch them in action. Spooking. There are quail all over the place up here. I'm having a hard time getting them on camera. Oh well. Well, didn't see him. Maybe I heard him. anyway, we can catch Coe Lake, or Coe Reservoir rather. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, it's got its own kind of beauty. Not entirely natural, that's okay. You know, this isn't Yosemite, but you know, you go to Yosemite to see beauty, I like to say. Here you go to find beauty. You gotta look for it here. Yeah. That's kind of my religion, finding beauty. Right? Maybe I'll say more about that later. Now, back in the day, we had a problem with kids getting lost because, you know, we didn't corral them correctly or appropriately or enough. So what we do is we leave these things around with some, you know, treats, M&Ms or something in there. So when the kids got lost, they'd find their way into the pen and be appropriately corralled until we should come by and, you know, drive down the road and, you know, pick them up in time for dinner. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes it didn't work because occasionally a stray pig would wander in here and get all the M&Ms. And the kid would just, well, what would happen is the kid would be here anyway because they'd just be here looking at the pig when we drove by. Worked pretty well. Don't know why we don't use it still. I failed to mention that that kid catcher back there, kid saver, whatever. Maybe you leave lifesavers, huh? That would have been better, but I think it was always M&Ms for us. That was back on the divide between Pacheco Creek and Coyote Creek. So, again, the divide between Monterey Bay and San Francisco Bay. Just thought I'd mention that. Oh, now I think I know what it is. You can, kids can choke on lifesavers. That's right. Yeah, but we never really cared about that sort of thing back then, right? So I don't get it. I mean, you know, M&Ms can melt, I guess, in the sun. Well, they don't melt in your hands. That's what they said in the commercial. So maybe they don't. Maybe they don't melt in the sun. Maybe that's why we used them. Huh. Never really thought about it. Yeah. Dang, check out that blue rock. Kelly Lake from above. I think I see a nice campsite on the opposite shore on a little hill there. Yeah. I think you can see places along the shore where you can actually get water without sinking in a foot of mud. I was right over there at that turn a little while ago, just below the turn. Why? Because I got lost. I took the wrong turn. Maybe about a half mile up that road, up that hill, before I stopped to check the map. Brilliant. Brilliant. About that wrong turn. I guess what tricked me was the sign said that way to Coyote Creek entrance, which is true. It's just the longer road approach to the entrance. I'm not going that way. I just saw that arrow, paid no mind to the longer miles, and just kept going. Signs. Whew. This one's a humdinger. What I said about finding beauty, of course, sometimes you don't have to look too far. I meant, I feel there's something, how should I say, phenomenological. Somewhere between beauty and morality, between ethics and aesthetics. There's value in the world. I don't know what to value necessarily, but it's there, it's real. That's why I call myself a Mazdian. Not as a philosophy, but as a religion. It's just something that I believe. A Mazda worshiper, right? And Mazda, it's not a car. I'm a Subaru person, by the way. Subaru's named after the, I think, Japanese name for the Pleiades. Star cluster, is that what it's called? And it's, people think it's because the car is named after the formation or the cluster, but actually, I got a secret for you. The formation is shaped like a Subaru, so they named it after the car. Would I lie to you? Ooh. Man. If Dexter ever finds out about my record as a parent, oh my. I can only hope he's gone to town for groceries. Just got onto the Dexter. Say what? Just got onto the Dexter Trail. Top of a hump here. Not a bad view. Why's my hand bleeding? Anyway, what was I saying about Mazda? Yeah, Mazda is, Zoroastrianism, Zarathustra, all that. Represents, it's a religion wherein the good is the most important thing. Good religion. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Now, to me, the major problem with that, or for the Zoroastrian, is, well, what do you mean good? What's the good, right? Yeah, that may sound like a nasty comeback, but really, what is the good? Where's the good? That's the first task, to me, of the Mazdian. And part of it for me is to recognize that the world is overflowing with value, with good and beauty, and evil and the grotesque, to be sure. How do we sort it out? Well, I don't know, but it seems to be important that we do, right? I'm not here to tell you the way, I'm just here to testify. I love these rocky knolls with oak trees just growing out of between the rocks. I wonder what causes that. Potential climbing fun for climbers, not me. Pretty rock. Come into another one of those laurel groves. You know, bay leaves. Didn't mention that last time. You know, stuff you put in the pot. Love the smell. It can be a little overwhelming sometimes, though. Nice shady spot. Yeah, smell that laurel. Mostly coming from that thing over there. Is that really all? Is that a laurel tree? I think it is. Wow, beauty. I think that's a live oak. Look at that. Branches just trailing along the ground. Yeah, I believe that's live oak. All this moss, man. It's like Spanish moss. I don't know what it's called here, but, you know. This is dry country, I think, you know. I mean, I feel like I'm back in deep south, you know, down on St. Helena Island, Frogmore. It's like old times in here. I guess it must be the marine air coming in from the bays. Look at all the pretty signs. This is the bridge that crosses Coyote Creek on the way to Gilroy Hot Springs. Hard to see much of Coyote Creek right here. Very, very dry down there. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Looky there. Water in the creek. Looks pretty fresh. Yeah, it's probably only been there for a couple of days. Whew. Nearly there. I got me some prizes. Recycling. There were a couple of big trash bags shoved under the barbed wire fence. It pisses me off, man. What do people do that for? Hunting Hollow entrance. And there we are.